And what I am urging, what I need from you, as our campaign has been propelled into the top tier and is now approaching where the caucusing and the voting actually begins.
Get the racists off the streets. It's disrespectful that I wake up every day scared.
I am raising a 7-year-old grandson. When he sees the police, he is afraid. That is not what's supposed to happen in America, in Indiana, in 2019.
Places all over the country are trying to get a handle on this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Black Lives Matter. We're on the same team.
And it means recognizing everything is connected. This is not just a criminal justice conversation, although we absolutely need reform to cut incarceration in half, to end racial disparities in sentencing. And I believe we ought to end incarceration as a response to drug possession altogether, because we know it's doing more harm than good. White Americans coming to terms with what whiteness is. The tough lesson that I've learned is that not everybody's ready for this conversation. That, in particular, this conversation has to happen among white Americans coming to terms with what whiteness is. And the thing about being white is you're not reminded of your race all the time. And when I, for example, spoke to our police officers in the wake of that shooting and talked about systemic racism, just the mention of the word systemic racism made them feel like their character was under attack. When actually part of what I was telling them is that this problem doesn't get solved without them working to solve it too. So as a candidate, I'm committed to having these conversations.
But you're having trouble resonating with African-American voters. I know you get asked this a lot, but the numbers aren't changing. I know you're trying. I know you must be frustrated by it. Why aren't those numbers changing with you with African-Americans? In the Democratic Party, you need them.
Well, that's right. And that's not just in order to win, but that's in order to govern. It's in order to deserve to win. What we're finding is that the Douglas plan I have put forward to deal with systemic racism gets a phenomenal reception with all audiences, but especially when we're speaking to black audiences. It's also the case that I've still got a lot of work to do to get out there, to get known, to sell it.
Do you think that the fact that you're gay is part of what might be holding you back with at least some black voters?
I think most black voters, like most voters in general, want to know what the candidates are actually going to do to improve their lives. And when I talk to black voters in particular, there's a sense of having been taken for granted in politics and a sense that candidates haven't always been speaking to them or earning their trust. So more than anything, I think my job is to make sure that I explain how our vision for increasing the number of black entrepreneurs is going to lead to economic empowerment.